Hello everybody, in today's video we will go into all openings for white with O1, E4, which is the most common opening, putting your king's pawn in the centre, releasing queen and bishop diagonals. So, the first opening we have is E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, knight C3, and this is basically just something called the 4 knights game. And sometimes white, they blunder this pawn, but most people below 1000 are like, trade the knights. Because even though you kick the knight out, now you have to defend the pawn, and that's hard to defend. Even though you're in white's favour, and the knight has been kicked, it'll probably have to go there, which can be taken by the bishop. So that is the 4 knights game. We also have E4, E5, and this, and you go into a Italian. Now, with the Italian here, the most common response is knight f6, in which you play this, which is the Italian game knight attack. If they got this, you can do something called the fried liver, sack the knight for this check here, and sometimes they blunder and come here. And white's position is actually better, I'm pretty sure, because even if he comes to e6, his king is in the center, and you can start hunting it. Possibly with some developing moves, try to get the bishop out, and even then, his king's still in the center, but black does have the advantage of being up 2 points, so you do not want to trade everything just like that. And the fried liver has many lines. However, sometimes they blunder this. You focus the queen and rook. Queen comes here, take the rook, and that's the Italian game right there. Now you also have bishop to b5, the Roy Lopez. Sometimes they'll play this, which is the Morphy defense, Columbus, and sometimes they play the Cara variation, which you drop your bishop back and you're totally fine. They have overextended their pawns, which can be targets in the future. Sometimes they'll play this, play something like this, and if they take, that's actually a blunder. So then they will go here, so now they can take, you protect it. Now they come here, castle. And that is like a main line. There's also this tricky little trap that I'll show you here with the Roy Lopez. Bishop b5. And now if they can, this is the Berlin. Now the Berlin's main line is a classical defense with bishop to c5, king's pawn. However, if you castle, they can blunder this. You take. If they take with the c pawn, you have this. This weakens their king, and you have this kind of setup here, and that is the best move. If they do not play that, and I don't know, play this, you win the queen. Queen cap. If queen blocks, you can take with the knight, and then that can become a target as well, and you're just very well shaped. However, most common response is just doing this, but now you have a knight in the center, and you can even pressure the knight, because takes you can't actually take because that. And so that's a Berlin Rio Gambit accepted. If they take with this pawn, it's even more of a blunder because it just guarantees you win the free bishop. After this, you have this, and even if they block with the bishop, you're gonna win the bishop. Castles, check, and king steps over. You even have you can bring a queen out. They might play this rook move, which is quite annoying. Bishop here. I don't know, there's some very interesting lines to the Rio Gambit. And now we'll come back. Now another thing you'll face with e4 is the Sicilian defense. No, not many people below 1000 should probably play this, but if you do face it, there are many lines. For example, you have this, and you have an open Sicilian right here, queen in the center, and black's turn, so they probably just play some random developing move, and not that. They won't play that actually, they'll probably play something like here, attacking a pawn, you develop your knights, they'll probably play this, preparing to take the center, pin the knight to the queen, and after this, you can just continue, drop back here, maybe this, and drop back, they'll overextend, here, and it's that turn again. So go here, a castle. With the Sicilian, you should usually aim to castle queenside, and they will castle kingside most of the time. But there's also many variations. For example, with the Sicilian, you can have the closed Sicilian, in which I'm pretty sure you just aim to play this, and this can transport into like a knight off. And also against Sicilian, which is what I highly recommend, is playing the Snyder, which occurs after this, sometimes this, but most of the time you'll face this. If they play this, you play bishop here, and while black does have a slight advantage because he has more pieces developed, you probably don't want to play d3 because that blocks your bishop in, but you want to fianchetto your bishop. That is the whole point. And black often goes for like a dragon over here, like, you know, opposite sides, castles, and they're gonna like launch attacks. You launch attack, and then they go here, and you know, your knight has to be there, like, but often like there's some trades that happens, you know. And now the next opening we have is the French defense, which is e4, e6, and you put d4, you put this, and you can do an exchange variation with this, and you just basically end up with a 4 knights with a pin, because then it's like an almost symmetrical variation here. But with this, you should people advance, and sometimes you take the pawn, but then the bishop gets a good development. Like, for example, like black is winning a bit here for position, and so this is usually played. Then you have this, then you have the pin, and usually they play something like this. Then I would suggest trading here to get this strong defender out of the way. And maybe they trade the pawn, and castles is what you're aiming for here. Oh, not there. And now you just have a solid center. Like, black can move his Daxwood bishop, his knights, and you can still move your knights. You can castle, you can come here, because after the pin, here, take, and you are totally, not there, I meant to go here. You are totally fine in position. At 0.3 in the position wise. And with the French defense, the whole point of the real French defense is for you to play this. You to play this, them to play this, queen out. And now you're in a tricky situation. Because what I would suggest playing though is this Paulson Milner Gambit. After takes, you take with a knight, they take back, they take, you take, which is a crucial blunder. As we have check, you know, bishop blocks, check, take, and you win the queen, which is a nice little trap for the French defense there. The whole point is targeting this pawn and trying to win your rook. That's the French defense for you there. Now you have the Karukan. It's like an annoying opening. It's just pawns basically. You know, you do this, and then you can exchange, and again, you just end up with the same setup with the French defense, but the pawns are on the D file. You can also play just trade pawns here and try and, you know, like a Queen's Gambit style thing with your bishop developed. And ends up in sort of like this style. You can also have the advanced Karukan, which is this. And there's actually nothing wrong with taking the pawn here, but they just take the center basically. So the advanced variation, and here they have this, and it's basically the same thing as the French defense you want to do. And there you go, the position is basically equal, except they only have an active queen, we're stopping their development. And the other main line to the Karukan is bishop to f5, and you play the tricky move h4. People below 1000 will not understand the move h4, and they will go pawn to e6 and plunder fact that the bishop... oh, did I just... I accidentally moved the wrong piece there. They'll often blunder the fact that after this, they'll put this, you put this, this, and the bishop's trapped, so they take your pawn, you take back here, and you come back, and you up a bishop. What you don't want to do is take with the pawn. Look how much the eval bar does not like this position. While you're up, it is actually better to take with the rook, because then you have an open file, and also you are not isolating an A pawn or your F pawn, or H pawn or F pawn. So that's a tricky little trap for you there. But often, like, this happens with bishop f5, this, then I'll play this or this, and then what you want to do is just play bishop here, here, and then they maybe, you know, come here, just go here and fianchetto maybe. It's just some ideas for the Karukan. Very tricky opening. Another thing you'll face is the Scandinavian defense. This is just basically this setup. Oh, not the bishop, the queen. In which your opponent just comes here. But often after Scandinavian, not many people know the main line. Like, for example, I don't really. So I just go here. I just do what looks good. You know, release both bishops. So I think the Scandinavian is actually better for white. There's some sort of trap where you give up a pawn, and you can search it up on like TikTok, something like that. There's some kind of trap. I don't know. So yeah, that's the Scandinavian for you. And also sometimes your opponent will just absolutely blunder that. Like, people below 1000 will blunder their queen like that. And taking your bishop is actually blunder, because now you have to play this, and that knight becomes a target. Basically, like, you can just come here, they develop, and you hit this, and it's, you know, you can just win a pawn, or you can just go here and come back. I would suggest playing that, and long castles for the Scandinavian. You'll also be facing the perk defense, which is this. The whole idea of the perk defense is this, and you basically have this. You can like trade queens if you want, but I don't really suggest that. You know, you're totally fine with just pushing, actually. But then you know, your opponent will probably develop a knight to here, or bring the bishop out, or bring this one. And what you want to do is move this bishop, protect this pawn, because your pawns have already advanced. And there's no point of the bishop being there. May as well protect this pawn. So that is the pick defense. Then you have an Alekhine variation. This is the Alekhine's defense. What I would suggest doing is e5, because now the knight just has to come here, and they make two opening moves with one thing. That's not good. You develop the pawn. You know, they'll come here, you go here, they'll go here. Now you can en passant here, but that is actually very bad. I think because you have one pawn in the center, they're gonna get ready to march their pieces into the center. But that's actually a blunder. But they're gonna prepare something in the center, right? You know, they're gonna prepare something in the center if you do that. So I was just advancing with this. And yeah, set up something like this. Maybe not even bother en passanting. Yeah, the eval does not really like the en passant though. Next thing I will show you is the King's Gambit, which starts after this. Not that move, this guy. Which is the whole point of this, is to go here, cover this square. If you go here thinking, yeah, center, free pawn, you blunder the fact that your rook hangs, and you're gonna lose the game. So that's why you develop the knight first, and now you're in a much better position. But your king side is very weak. You have to watch out for that. So the King's Gambit is very risky. Next one is the Scotch. that's the Scotch game. There's also like a tricky little trap with something like once they take, you're here protected by the bishop. Like the whole point is just like to put some random move like this, just sack. And there's some sort of weird trap here. I don't know. But yeah, the Scotch game is basically just this. They have given up their centre pawn. Oh, they've given up their centre pawn, and your queen is active. Now you might face this, but that's just an overextended pawns. You know, you come back, and you just continue natural development. And that is the Scotch game. You also have the Vienna, which is very tricky. You know, you should probably learn this opening as a Vienna. I personally don't really know it. Sometimes you have if they play the max line, you want to play this, and queen here. Sometimes they'll blunder this and hang their rook. And hang their knight, because it's pinned. Because after this, you just have this, preparing that check. And the only way I stop that is to force the queen check, but even then, you have to now take, because otherwise it's just mates, or mating threats. And now this, and you just trade down all pieces since you're up 3 points. So that is if they play that. If they play this is a folk beer. Now you want to play this. And play this again, same as King's Gambit. You want to protect the square. Try to come out. Come here. There is like a trap where you can like possibly win a queen, but you know, it's just, I don't know the trap. You can search it up on TikTok again. Stuff like that. And this is it for the e4 openings here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video for the e4 opening for white. And later I will go for d4, and you can learn the Queen's Gambit with me. And if you didn't already know that, which the Queen's Gambit is a great opening, by the way. And if they don't accept, you end up with something like that, and that's just like exchange. And yeah, just d4, d5, and you're in a basic Queen's Pawn opening. So yes, be it for this e4 video, and I'll see you guys in the next chess one. Bye bye.